Hello there, everyone, and welcome back to Radiant Moon Tarot. My name is Victoria, and we are here talking about the full moon in the sign of Sagittarius. This is occurring on June 11th of 2025. It is a fiery one here, folks, but it is also a potentially lucky one. We've got some really great aspects with the planet of Jupiter, and Jupiter has just moved signs out of Gemini into a very comfortable position in the sign of Cancer. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, therefore rules this full moon, and Jupiter loves being in the sign of Cancer. So we can really harness this Jupiter energy for us in this particular lunation. Having said that, there's also some challenging aspects that do come along with this moon as well. So stick with me here. We're going to go through them all. There's some planetary aspects. There's some other aspects with the north and south nodes that are creating a little bit of havoc for us here. But ultimately, confidence is the key to move through this particular moon cycle, and it can also bring you something very beneficial. We also have the planet of Venus that is also in the sign of Taurus and is also exalted in that position as well. So this is some good energy here, great energy here for making yourself some luck, for manifesting something, or to even have some breakthroughs. So we'll go through all of these aspects. We will also pull a card for the collective. And then if you stick around, we will also pull some cards for each sign and really show you where this lunation is highlighting things for you guys. So if you do enjoy your readings, if you enjoy this video, please take a moment to give it a thumbs up there. Just press that like button. And of course, if you enjoy my content, don't forget to subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It does help my video get seen and helps the channel grow, but it will also let you know whenever I put up a new reading, which is almost every day because I do daily readings throughout the week as well. So full moon in Sagittarius, June 11th. This is occurring at 20 degrees. So if you follow degree astrology at all, this does have a relation with Scorpio energy. Scorpio energy being very transformative. It helps you step into your personal power. It can have us dealing with the things that are inevitable in life, right? Births, deaths, endings, beginnings, and change. And change can certainly be the name of the game. It can also be very intense sometimes, and full moons tend to be that way anyway. But it is occurring at 12:43 a.m. if you're in the Pacific time zone, 3:43 a.m. in the Eastern time zone, and adjust your clock accordingly for the rest of the world. But everyone will experience this on the 11th, right? So really powerful for us all. As I said, this is a fiery lunation. Okay, there's a few different reasons for that. Number one, it's in Sagittarius, okay? A mutable fire sign. Sagittarius energy, if you are a Sag, sun, moon, rising, or ascendant, this is really going to be your moon. It's your time, right? A full moon in general is always a culmination of a 6-month cycle that was started 6 months ago at the new moon in Sagittarius. So we can really look back and say, okay, what were we doing? What was happening? What was I looking to change? What was I manifesting? What new beginnings did I have going on? And this can be some clues specifically for you as to what this particular lunation may signify for you. But Sagittarian energy in general is very fiery, very passionate, but it's a freedom-seeking sign. And so how do we seek freedom? We can break through, we can have a breakthrough from something, we can realize something that's been keeping us stuck. We may need to break out of the ordinary, break out of the mundane and the everyday. We may need to break away from relationships, from situations that are keeping us in a box. Sagittarius does not like to be in a box. It's like putting baby in the corner. You're not going to do that with a Sagittarius, or at least not for too long. So this Sagittarian energy can sometimes be a little bit rebellious, because sometimes we have to rebel against things in order to break free and find our freedom. So you could certainly be finding some freedom. But Sagittarius energy is also ambitious, very humorous. Having a little bit of a laugh can actually really help you through some of the more intense energies of this particular moon. But it's adventurous as well, ruled by Jupiter. If you know any Sagittarius people, they're probably seen quite lucky. They are the luckiest sign, and this is part of where we can bring some luck to the forefront for us with this moon. But Sagittarius is also philosophical, freedom-seeking as well, but truth-seeking also. The truth will set you free. So that can be another form of freedom, right? Is finding that truth, or finding your truth, right? And being authentic with yourself and other people. Some of you are going to experience a big shift where you're like, you know what? I'm me, and I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm not going to conform anymore. I'm not going to pretend to be something that I'm not. And that in and of itself can be where you find your freedom. The freedom to live your true, authentic life. Sometimes that will cause us to have to break away from some relationships in our world, such as life. As we grow, as we mature, as we find who we really are, or step back into our true selves, sometimes we can't carry forward with all of our relationships because our energy has now shifted and we're no longer in alignment with certain people, places, or situations in our world. But this is an adventurous energy. Some of you here are looking to travel and explore the world, or expand your mind in some way. Again, ruled by Jupiter, the planet of abundance, good fortune, some karmic energy there, and also this sense of adventure. So it can be really fun kind of full moon for you guys, but it can also be very transformative as well, getting you unstuck, or helping you to get unstuck, or at least recognize where you are stuck. Full moons, like I said, are about a closure, a completion. Full moons in themselves are great for releasing, for letting go, for closing down a chapter, a cycle in your life, in your world. And like full moons can also bring something to fruition, something that you've been working on, or perhaps even bring you a little bit of a surprise, because we do have a hidden aspect with this full moon. So there could be something that you don't quite see coming, but it can be a door opening. It can be an opportunity. It can bring that someone or something is bringing you something. Jupiter does like to bring us things. And so with a full moon ruled by Jupiter, we can have something come in that is a gift to us. Now, a couple of the more challenging aspects for you here. So who's going to feel this full moon the most? If you are a Sagittarius, especially if your planetary placements in your birth chart are between 19 and 21 degrees or so, you're really going to feel this most intensely. Also, mutable signs. Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces, you are also going to feel this a little bit more forcefully, shall we say, than some other signs. But let's face it, we're all going to be feeling this particular full moon. We always do. Full moons do tend to be emotional. They also tend to be quite insightful because our intuition is heightened. Okay, our dream state is heightened. Our sense of, recognizing the unknown is also very heightened. But we do have with this lunation a grand mutable cross. Okay, so this is when we've got planets squaring the nodes, the north node and the south node. So this does carry with it a lot of intensity, especially not just for us personally, but also globally as well. There can be some very interesting things going on politically throughout the world. The spotlight, of course, right now is very much on the US in a lot of places. So keep your eye on the US, keep your eye on tariffs and trade, because Sagittarius does have to do with tariffs and trade. And of course, the last 6 months, this can kind of have us seeing some of the impacts of what has been going on. This can also be where we're seeing, not just globally, but also personally, what is affecting our future, right, with this grand mutable cross. So what is affecting our future? What do I need to break away from our past, right? And where do I see myself going in the future? The North Node is in Pisces, encouraging us to trust our intuition, encouraging us to be creative and dream big. And the South Node, which is where we've been, what we're breaking away from, the South Node's in Virgo. Virgo likes to hold on to things, and it's a perfectionist energy. So where do you need to kind of relax a little bit? Right? What are you holding on to that is preventing you from following your dreams, your goals, your destiny? So this can, create a little bit of inner turmoil, inner conflict, but once you figure it out, this can be your breakthrough. We also do have with this, the full moon is trining Mars in Leo and Chiron in Aries. So it's a grand fire trine. And so this can be a big healing energy. Right? And again, a big breakthrough, right? What have I been holding on to? Where do I need to move forward? Right? And this can be about creating change. It can also be about healing, right? Especially with Chiron in the sign of Aries. Aries is a fresh start, a new beginning. And Chiron says, instead of holding on to old energies and, maybe even playing victim, okay, we're never necessarily a victim, right? And yes, we can be victimized, but this can help us use our wounds, our old wounds, to move forward into a new path, a new direction, and maybe even help other people as well. But it is very fiery energy to get going, get started. So you might be feeling like you want to run right out of the gate. Some of the aspects of Jupiter. Now, this is the really beautiful one. I mentioned it briefly in the intro. Jupiter has just moved on the 9th of June into the sign of Cancer. Now, Jupiter, of course, like I said, being our most beneficial planet, right? Jupiter is abundance and luck. Jupiter is expansion and growth, wisdom, elevated consciousness as well. Right? So Jupiter brings us all these wonderful things, helping us spread our wings. Jupiter rules the Wheel of Fortune card, the ebb and the flow of life. Sometimes Jupiter does amplify everything it touches. And so if it's touching something good, it can be really wonderful. If it's touching something challenging, it can blow things out of proportion, right? But usually, sometimes when we have a big blow up, right, it can clear the air of things, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. But Jupiter in Cancer, Jupiter is exalted in the sign of Cancer. So think of all the really good things. Cancerian energy is about the home, is about the family. And so some of you during this time are looking at expanding your family, changing something in your home dynamic, perhaps looking at where you're living. Some of you want a bigger house. Some of you want a bigger yard. Some of you may want to refurbish your home in some way, even if it's just redecorating or painting your walls. But whatever it happens to be for you, this is a nurturing energy. It's a creative energy, and it can be really, really beautiful. Also, Venus. Venus is in Taurus. Venus is also exalted in the sign of Taurus. Venus loves being in the sign of Taurus. our love, our money, the things that bring us pleasure and joy. It's a very sensual kind of energy. It's one that encourages you to take care of yourself in some way. So the fact that both planets that bring us the best things are all in the sign of Cancer, right? This can be some beautiful energies around our home, nurturing relationships, nurturing ourselves, making things feel good. And it's a quieter energy. Jupiter's been in Gemini for a while, and so it's been crazy busy and a lot of communication, maybe overwhelming in some cases. So this can be a little bit easier of an energy. We're more in the flow with some of this energy. Jupiter also at the time of this moon is in a conjunction with Mercury. This is awesome. This is awesome for communication. This is awesome for learning or for expressing yourself, for negotiations, right? You name it. Mercury Mercury rules the sign of Gemini, and at the full moon, right, the moon and the sun are in opposition. But because we've got a conjunction, the sun is in Gemini, Mercury is the ruler of Gemini. This can be where instead of opposing each other, we can work together, we can hash things out, we can resolve our differences, we can work together a little bit better, a little bit more in harmony, rather than, even if we're opposed in our ideas or our belief systems, right, we can recognize the beneficial aspects of each person's point of view, perhaps, right? So we can communicate much more effectively. So this can be a really awesome energy there for that. Also really good energy for letting your voice be heard. Writing and journaling can certainly also, be a really good time to, if you've always had that dream of writing a novel, this can be a good time to do that. If you want to start a journal or a diary, it's a great time to do that as well. And it's a little bit more pen to paper, perhaps, right, than necessarily on a computer. But you can certainly do it on a computer if that's what really floats your boat. What else do we have here? We do have finally, but perhaps most importantly, to be aware of, it is a challenging aspect. So we have the third and final, hallelujah, Jupiter and Saturn square. Okay, we had one in August of 2024. We had one in December of 2024. Very challenging aspects. And the thing is that, so Saturn has been in a superior position to Jupiter throughout those. Okay, but they've both moved signs now. Saturn is in the sign of Aries. It was in Pisces, right? A lot of endings. Aries energy is a little bit more futuristic, a little bit more about getting going, about starting something new. Jupiter was in Gemini, and Jupiter has now, as of the time of this moon, moved into Cancer. So even though we do still have a square between Jupiter and Saturn for the final time on this particular cycle, it can be a little bit more expansive, right? Because it's fresh, it's some fresh energy coming in here. No less challenging, okay? No less challenging, but because it's in different signs, it does have a different kind of flavor. And this can be a lot more beneficial, or we can see something play out in a different way that has been a recurring theme. So this can be that breakthrough moment, perhaps, and hopefully it's where we get communication back on track. So, but look back to August of 2024 and December 2024 when we had this Jupiter-Saturn square, and this can certainly give you a hint as to what this recurring issue may be for you, okay? But again, like I said, with this full moon, a sense of humor is going to be really helpful for you, especially dealing with challenging situations. Just laugh it off and walk away, or maybe see the humor in a difficult situation. Being truthful and honest, not just with others, but also yourself, is also going to be helpful in a way forward. But work with the planet Jupiter, work with the planet Venus, light a candle, release something, burn something away. And this can certainly bring us a sense of relief or make us feel, give us a physical transformation of something. I mean, if you write something down that you want to release out of your life and then you burn it away safely, of course, fire safety is always important, or, you can bury it somewhere away from your house where it goes back to the earth, right? But you've released it. And the physical act of doing that can sometimes bring us into a different energy, and because we are physically doing something, right, that helps get something out of our lives. We're not just imagining it. We can touch it, feel it, see it, smell it, right? And so that can be helpful. So do some of those do some of those release rituals, work with Jupiter and Venus, manifestation energy there as well. But certainly meditate, pay attention to your dreams, all of that wonderful stuff. I know we said a lot of things here, because there's a lot going on. So we will get into each individual sign and pull some cards for you and show you where this is highlighting for you. But first, let's pull a card for the collective message. What does this full moon in Sagittarius mean for the collective? Thank you. Now we've got the Queen of Cups. How wonderfully brilliant is that? Now, for some of you, the Queen of Cups can represent an important individual in your life. Now, with this being a full moon, it is more than likely someone that you already know. It's a maternal energy. Jupiter in the sign of Cancer, it's a maternal energy. Mercury is also, by the way, has just moved into the sign of Cancer as well. So we're working together in harmony. We're healing old wounds, okay? Or we can even just be coming to terms with something, especially something regarding a maternal figure. Now, this is also, of course, a very nurturing energy. Nurture yourself, nurture your relationships, nurture your dreams and your goals. Okay, so this is going to be important for you, an important message for that at this full moon. But this does bring healing as well. The Queen of Cups is very much known for a healing energy, especially those heart energies, right? Healing of the heart. This can certainly be very spiritual in its energy as well. All right. And we do have that going on with this lunation. So pay attention to your intuition, your dreams, do some meditation, do some cleansing and purging, but ultimately nurture yourself, do the things you love, get creative, and embrace the positive things in life, right? And that's quite often how we can move forward as we embrace the positive. We look at things from a different perspective, right? And that's all that Sagittarian energy, very optimistic sign, right? And so when we do that, right, doesn't mean that challenging things don't ever happen, but when we look at the possibilities, when we look at things in a solution-based way, right, then we can overcome those challenges in our lives just a little bit easier. So there you have it. So having said that, all your timestamps are down below. Okay, we're going to start with Aries. We're going to go through each sign, pull a card for each sign. We're actually going to pull 3 cards for each sign. We are also embracing our whimsical Sagittarian side. I am a Sagittarian rising. And we're going to embrace the humorous, whimsical side there. We're going to pull out an energy card. We're going to pull out the Deviant Moon. This is what this is, weird little deck there. But we're also going to pull out a fortune for each sign that has some lucky numbers on there for you as well. Use them as you wish. So once again, timestamps down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you back here in a second, Aries. Hello there, Aries, and welcome to your full moon in Sagittarian reading. So this is occurring in your 9th house. Now, your 9th house is ruled by Jupiter, and the ruling sign is Sagittarius. This lunation is also occurring in a fellow fire sign. So you guys are really going to be embracing this full moon energy, or maybe even rebelling against it a little bit. But this is certainly beneficial for you guys. Your 9th house, this has to do with your beliefs, your spirituality, your religion. So some of you are perhaps breaking away from some old traditional belief structure and embracing something a little bit more free, free, open-minded, perhaps. Or you're trying to maybe balance the two. The ninth house is also about your higher mind. Some of you are graduating right about now. Congratulations on that. Maybe you started a class or school or something like that months ago, and now you finally made it to the end. So give yourself a good pat on the back. And this certainly does help you expand your horizons out into the world, right? But some of you are also thinking, how do I move forward and how do I make a better, brighter future for myself? And so you might be considering going back to school. This is the ninth house. It's all about your higher mind, your philosophy, your law, morals, ethics. Some of you might have a legal situation wrapping up here, but it is kind of about your big ideas as well. Now, some of you here also could be embracing your sense of adventure, because the ninth house also does have to do with travel, specifically longer trips, okay, or something that takes you to a different country or maybe overseas. So some of you could be wanting to, kind of get out of a boredom or take a break out of work, and you're looking to make some travel plans. This also, the ninth house has to do with publishing. So again, like I said in the intro, with some of this energy, this is really great for getting yourself published. If you have a novel that's been sitting in a drawer, or if you have a big idea, ninth house, for a book or for a journal or something along those lines. This is a great energy to get something finished, or even to recognize where you can make some space and time to make it happen for yourself. So it can be some really exciting energy that's there for you. We have Healer of the Ages coming in for you here. So this is really beautiful, actually, because number one, it does show there's some healing energy that is available for you, right? So, full moon energy, we do have Chiron at play here as well. And so some of you here are maybe called to a higher power. And with the Healer of the Ages, not only do you have the ability to heal a situation, heal yourself, break away from your past, okay, and so you can have a brighter future without carrying all of the baggage. You have the wisdom, you have the memories, you have the experience, but we're not going to carry the energy forward. So it's a big breakthrough for some of you here. But others of you here, you're being called to use your past wounds and experiences to help others. And so Healer of the Ages can indicate that the healing power is flowing through you, okay, not just to you, but also through you. And so maybe some of you are at a turning point in your life where you want a different career, and you're like, I want to help people. And you can help people in many different ways. Of course, you can use your hands, right? So a nurse, a chiropractor, a massage therapist, or even like a Swedish massage or something like that, right? Something where you're using your hands perhaps to help others, whether it's their physical body or whatever it happens to be. Doctors, surgeons, psychiatrists, Reiki, perhaps, right? So many different versions of healer out there. So, how do you help heal people, right? It's helping people in some way. You could even volunteer for something, right? A healing energy can represent, volunteering at a shelter, whether it's people or animals, right? Or, volunteering at the food bank or something, or cooking meals using your hands, right? You're helping in some way. So you may be called to do that, or you may be recognizing that, maybe you can put aside some time in your life to do that volunteer stuff. You don't necessarily need to do it as a career. So some healing energy is enveloping you and surrounding you in some way. We have the 10 of Cups coming out here for you. I love it. I love it for sure. The 10 of Cups is the happy ever after card. Okay, so some of you can certainly be having some good news coming up here for you with this moon. You could also be recognizing what makes you happy. And so you could perhaps be looking to make some changes in your life, right? And so you can fulfill a dream, fulfill a goal, or, maybe even help other people fulfill their dreams and goals, or make other people happy. So it's a beautiful energy there with that 10 of Cups, one of the happiest and most positive cards in the entire deck. Okay, so it could literally be you following your bliss and finding it. You could also get some really good news in here for you guys as well. Puts a big old smile on your face. All right, so embrace that energy. Now I've got a fortune card here for you guys. All right, so let's see what has come out of the deck for you. Your fortune. You've been finding yourself making commitments or plans, then regretting them later. Often this happens because you feel you need to give an answer right away. In the realm of decisions, the power of "I'll think about it" is a gift to yourself. Allow the canvas of contemplation to unfold, for therein lies clarity and wisdom. Just as a painter steps back to observe their work, you too step back to assess the choices before you. Embrace the art of thoughtful consideration, and in the pauses of decision making, you'll find the hues of insight that paint the masterful piece of your path. Now, you have Saturn in your sign. This is Saturn, okay? Is saying, because you can sometimes be very much a go-getter, wonderful energy, but you can also sometimes be impulsive. So Saturn is encouraging you here to stop and think before you do, to take a step back, look at the big picture, ninth house energy, to assess and evaluate before you jump into something. You don't have to have all the answers, and it doesn't have to be perfect. But sometimes, it's like before you respond to someone in the heat of an argument, count to 3 before you speak. And it can actually save you from saying something that you wish you could have taken back. So very Saturn energy, just holding you back just a little bit before you step forward. We have your lucky numbers: 10, 27, 38, 54, 73, and 84. That's what I have for you, Aries. Good luck in this lunation. I thank you for watching. We're going to move on now to Taurus. Hello there, Taurus, and welcome to your full moon in Sagittarius reading. Now, this is occurring in your 8th house, ruled by Pluto, and bringing forward some Scorpio energy. And of course, this lunation is at a Scorpio degree. So this is probably going to be fairly intense for you, okay? There could be something that you're really putting an end to. Thank you. I'm going to bonus card there for you. So you could be having an ending somewhere in your world. Your 8th house does have to do with birth, death, transformation, a little bit of mystery. So there could be something hidden. You could get a surprise. Okay. Inheritances, loans, the things you share with other people, joint finances. It also does have to do with sacrifices as well, right? Sometimes we've got to let something go, right, in order to bring us to a better place. Okay, so there could be a little bit of mystery around here. The order of the day is change. Okay, letting go of the old, waiting for something new. Okay, or bringing in something that you have been manifesting here. Some of you could be paying off some loans right about now. Full moon, pay it off. Okay, you could potentially have an inheritance coming your way. You could also be having those challenging discussions, right, about writing out wills and, preparing for what is the inevitable, right, for us humans. And it's an uncomfortable conversation, right? But remember, we've got Jupiter in conjunction with Mercury. So this can be, even though it's a challenging conversation and a difficult one to have, right? Ultimately, it can be very fruitful and very productive in making those kind of decisions. So whether you have an ending coming in for you or whether there is just some change coming in, ultimately it is for your best and highest good for your future. So there can be some significant breakthrough there for you, hopefully a really positive surprise. There can also be some healing that comes in here as well. But because it is 8th house energy, not going to lie, you could have some closure, which is a good thing. But you could have something that is coming to an end. It could be relationships, it could be jobs, it could be something to do with your money. But remember here, Taurus, okay, Venus is in your sign. Venus is very happy being in your sign. So first and foremost, we can be reminded to nurture yourselves. Take pleasure, guilty pleasures maybe, in something. Do something nice for yourself, right? Whether it's something free or whether it's something that costs money, it doesn't matter. Just something that makes you feel good. Okay, but it can also be about nurturing something as well, right? Now, Venus also does have to do with your money, and your eighth house has to do with especially other people's money, or the money and possessions you share with other people. So you could have some blossoming abundance coming in here. You could have the potential to make some more money, okay, or you have money matters at hand with others. But Venus being in your sign is really beautiful, okay, and really beneficial for you, okay? We have patience coming out here. So patience is, of course, a virtue. Now, this is all about divine timing. Now, timing is everything, right? Sometimes we need to time a conversation, because having a conversation when someone's had the worst day in the world at work and they come home tired and drained and there's something you want to talk about, you're probably not going to get the reaction or the input back that you want, right? It's like, now is not the time. So patience may be required. Okay, so remember that, sometimes we do need to wait for that perfect time. Also, patience here in manifestation. Okay, because there is a time for everything. And if we try and force something into existence, something's not going to be quite right. Something's not going to be quite aligned, and it may not necessarily last or be what we expected it to be. So we do need to allow things to happen in their natural timing. But you could also be finding that your patience is paying off. You've been patient, you've been waiting for something, you've been biding your time, or you've been taking something one step at a time, and now you're about to reap the rewards. We also have Healer of the Ages. Now, this is very interesting. For you, Aries also got this particular card. So you may have a strong Aries placement in your chart. Of course, it is fire sign energy coming in here. So I expect to see this card probably a couple of times throughout our readings here as we go through the signs. But Healer of the Ages does show that there is healing energy that is coming to you. There's healing energy available to you now, especially through your heart chakra. And that is most likely to do with that beautiful fire trine that we have with the full moon, Mars in Leo, and Chiron in Aries. Aries, of course, energy encourages you to have a fresh start, to move forward, to not let the past hold you back. Chiron is the wounded healer. Chiron does encourage you to be patient, but Chiron does help you to heal. But it does also help you to recognize that you can use your experiences and your old wounds to help others in some way. So perhaps you've had like a devastating injury and you had to go through, months or years of rehab. And now maybe you're looking at that going, you know what? I think this is my calling. I want to give back. I want to help other people the same way that I was helped. So you could be considering going back to school and training as a massage therapist or, a physical therapist or something, right? Maybe if you've gone through some mental health challenges, right now you're like, you know what? I want to give back. I want to help other people. And it can be a great career path for you while also helping others in some way. So whether it's as a career path, or whether it's some volunteering, or whether it's just something that you love to do, right? There could be this healing energy that you are called upon to use that flows through you, right? And it's not just you that is healed that benefits from it, but it can also be others. So there's a lot of different versions of being a healer, right? Mental, spiritual, physical, you name it. But the healing energy can come in for our energy, for our heart, for our head, for our body, but also Venus in Taurus, right? Your bank account, perhaps getting career back on track, getting your household finances back on track, all of this stuff, it's being fixed, right? We have the opportunity to fix things here. And it takes time sometimes to do these things. So again, your patience could certainly pay off for you here. With the healer of the ages, you're very much encouraged to connect with your chakras as well. So doing some, you might be called, you might find that you're really compelled, is what I'm trying to say, to go and see like a spiritual practitioner, maybe get a Reiki session done, maybe a couple of them. Maybe you feel that you want to learn about it and learn how to do that yourself, right? Follow your intuition, because it takes you to some interesting places sometimes, right? And the 8th house does have to do with the occult, right? And the occult doesn't mean anything sinister, okay? The occult, the word occult is hidden, okay? Those hidden talents, those hidden goals, those hidden dreams, the hidden personal power within you, right? Or those things that you can't see, right? So, so this can really be front and center for you. Love it. We do have the 3 of Swords here for you guys as well. Okay, and the 3 of Swords is showing up in the reverse for you. So if there's been something that you've been holding on to, something you've been clinging on to, this is a time of breaking free and healing. All right, so big healing energy there. The 3 of Swords, of course, is known as our heartbreak card: sadness, disappointment, loss, sometimes even, telling ourselves a negative story, right? But what are we doing? We're turning the tables on our wounds, okay? And we're looking at the bright side, or we are healing ourselves in some ways. So, so very interesting that should come out with the healer of the ages. So use this energy to your advantage. You can fix a relationship, or perhaps you're recognizing that sometimes you do need to let something go, even if it makes you sad, in order to move forward in a better path, on a better future. So we've got a fortune card for you guys here as well. A close relative will share a startling family secret. Ooh, 8th house. Interesting. It will be up to you to decide what to do with this information. This moment of truth could either strengthen your family ties or pull them apart. Much depends on your actions, so consider carefully. As this secret unfolds before you, shoulder the weight of responsibility with courage and thoughtfulness. Trust in your inner wisdom to help you decide what to do with this knowledge. Honesty and empathy are pillars of strength during such times. Seek the support of others as you navigate the sensitive terrain. Find the path that leads to healing and understanding. This important moment could mark a turning point in your family's history. Your choices could echo through the generations, so tread carefully. I'll hold that up for you. Your lucky numbers: 94, 23, 55, 9, 22, and 41. Very 8th house message there. That is also very much Jupiter in Cancer message there. Cancer has to do with your home and your family. So there could be something hidden, 8th house, okay, Pluto energy, with your family. Okay, maybe someone has a secret. Jupiter in Cancer can be pregnancy as well, by the way. So, there could have been fertility struggles, things like that. Maybe someone has a really positive surprise that they want to share, right? Expansion of the family in some way. Or maybe someone reveals their pain to you, right? Especially if someone wants to start a family and they can't. For some reason, they've been keeping it to themselves. 8th house, they've been keeping it hidden. Healer of the ages, right? So it can be doctors and things like that. Or maybe they just come to you because you're a really good shoulder to cry on. So you might not necessarily have to give them any advice, right? So it can be that someone just comes to you for, comfort. And Venus in Taurus is very comfort type of energy as well. So very interesting for you guys there. With that said, I'm going to leave that there for you, Taurus. I do thank you for watching. Good luck in this, hopefully lucky for you, lunation. I thank you for watching. We'll move on now to Gemini. Hello there, Gemini, and welcome to your full moon in Sagittarius reading. So this is happening in your relationship sector. So your seventh house, your relationship with other people. Now, yes, it can be romantic relationships, your spouses, your boyfriends, your girlfriends, your significant other. But relationships can also represent your friendships, your business relationships, you name it. So this is really highlighting that aspect of your life for you. Now, with this being a full moon, okay, you could find that a relationship is changing. So you're kind of moving out of one cycle in your relationship and moving into another. So if you've been casually dating, then perhaps this is where it's changing into something a little bit more exclusive. Or if you've been together with someone for a while, you might move in together. You might get engaged. You might get married. By the same token, unfortunately, there can potentially be breakups here as well, okay, with a full moon and your seventh house energy. But there could potentially just be an abundance, a blossoming of love and romance, okay? Remember, we've got Venus in the sign of Taurus. Venus actually rules the seventh house with Libra energy here as well. So balance and harmony in a relationship, okay? This can be where, you know, if you have not been getting paid your worth with a company that you work for, you may potentially decide that it's time to move on from where you've been right now and partner up with another company or another business partner that brings you more benefit, right? Whether it's more happiness and joy or more money, right? Just, you know, sometimes money isn't always everything. It's also our sense of fulfillment, our sense of connection, of feeling like we're, you know, in the right place. Seventh house does have to do with balance and harmony. So again, with Venus in Taurus, it is very money related, okay, or very related very much to possessions as well, and also values. Okay, so if you're not seeing eye to eye with a partner, especially in money, this can be a time to resolve those issues. Okay, this can also be a time when you're reassessing your family budget. And, you know, saying, okay, well, we haven't, you know, reestablished our responsibilities for a while. And so you could be looking at your household budget, looking at your salaries, how much you bring home, all that kind of stuff, who pays what bills, and you could be reorganizing that in some way. So the old ways of doing things aren't working anymore, and it's time for something a little bit different. So whether you have something blossoming, okay, or something changing, or maybe, yes, even something ending, okay, there's it's very much this focus on your partnerships with the seventh house. Also, your relationship to money, your relationship to self as well. All right. Are you in a good place? You know, what are your values around your money or your possessions? Do they get in the way of some of your relationships, right? We do have relationships with many things, not just people. We have relationships to money and things like that as well. So you could be focused on it there. But the seventh house does also have to do with contracts as well. So again, like I said, some of you may be getting married. Some of you may unfortunately be getting divorced, but you could find that a contract is ending in some way, okay, or you might be embarking on a new one. So you could be finding some new contracts as they play out over the next couple of weeks. We have hostilities, and this is in the reverse. So if there's been some arguments, some fights, some not seeing eye to eye, this is a relief. All right. Now, it can be that because there's been hostilities that we are parting ways. All right. This can be resolving these issues. Okay. So whatever the situation is, sometimes in order to heal, in order to get on a better track, sometimes we do need to walk away from something because we come to the realization that we can't fix it. But there is the potential here as well. All depends on your circumstance, right, of being able to fix something. But it can also be some inner hostility within you. If you've been angry or conflicted about something, right, there is, again, this healing energy that is coming in here with this full moon. So it can just be that things are resolving, maybe even resolving themselves without necessarily having a lot of input from you. If you've had hostilities around your workplace, again, either you might decide to make some positive change that benefits you because you're like, I can't change this situation. Okay. Or if it's with a specific person, they might leave, right? Remember, full moons can certainly be about endings. And so it can be unexpected as well. And you're like, oh, thank goodness this person's leaving. I'm so happy, right? And so, never underestimate, the benefits of an ornery coworker jumping ship. Whatever your situation is, this is a more peaceful vibe, more peaceful energy, and certainly a release or a healing or forgiveness of some hostilities. We have Temperance, healing energy coming in for you. Every single one so far, you're the third sign. Everyone's had some healing energy. So the Temperance card is actually Sagittarian energy. So embrace the more positive aspects of Sagittarius. Finding freedom, looking at the big picture, looking philosophically at things in your life, right? Believing in your power to transform. Temperance card has to do with alchemy, spiritual alchemy. You are changing, you are transforming, and you ultimately have the power to change your situation. Got it. Hello there, Cancer, and welcome to your full moon in Sagittarius reading. So this is occurring in your 6th house. Now, yes, sometimes we can consider the 6th house a little bit boring and mundane, right? It has to do with your health, happiness, and well-being, your day-to-day activities, your daily routine, your work, right? The things, our daily life, right? The things that we do every single day. However, a full moon in this area can be quite transformative for you, especially, okay, since we do have this grand mutable cross. All right, our south node is in Virgo. Virgo rules your 6th house along with Mercury. Okay. Yes, maybe there's something that you want to cling to, right? We do find it harder to break away from things when Virgo is around, right? So South Node is what we're trying to break away from. It's our past. It's where we've already been there, done that. I've been living this, right? Our future, our North Node is Pisces. Our dreams, our intuition, our ability to create something a little bit better, right? Following our happiness, our joy, right? Living our best life kind of thing. And it's very dreamy energy. Virgo is very down to earth and practical, but can also be a little bit stubborn, a little bit of a perfectionist kind of energy sometimes, right? So we do find it hard to break away from things, okay? So this full moon can be very transformative for you. The ruler of the 6th house being Mercury, okay? Mercury has just moved into Cancer. And Cancer energy is very, very nurturing. It's about your home, your family, your, some of your relationships, right? The people you live with. But it's also about private matters, the things that you keep to yourself, your private goals and dreams. So you could tap into this energy and create a vision for your future, but it may require a little bit of change, may require a little bit of focus for you. Example, perhaps you're not happy with your physical body in some way. It might be how you dress. It could be your hair. It could be, your size or your shape, right? And, or maybe you're not happy with your physical fitness level, or you're not entirely happy with, what you do every day, right? You get up, you brush your teeth, you make your coffee, maybe you have breakfast, perhaps you face a 2-hour commute in the car, right? These things, what in your day-to-day life isn't making you feel at your best or make you feel beautiful, right? So in this energy, you could certainly be embracing your power to let go of something old, to embrace something a little bit better, right? So if you want to lose weight, what do you need to release? Maybe an eating habit. Maybe you need to release the pressure that you put on yourself, right? Sometimes the pressure that we put on ourselves is a lot more powerful than pressure that other people put on us. Perhaps you need to release part of your day-to-day things that you do so that you can make more time for maybe some more physical exercise. Physical exercise is good for our physical body, our physical well-being, but it can also have other really positive side effects. One of them might be to lose weight, right? So these little things that we do, we recognize sometimes, because Virgo can get lost in the minutia of things. But the thing is, sometimes it's just those little things that we do that can have a big impact. So in order for you to achieve your vision of what you want your future to look like, whether it's something in your personal self, something with how you work, a less time commuting in the car, a better job, a better paycheck, what are the little things that you can do right now to transform your situation, right? A little bit of let go of your old ways. If you convince yourself that you don't have the experience for a higher paying job, then you are never going to find that higher paying job, right? But whereas if you know that your experience, your wisdom is what the tools that you can use to get yourself a higher paying job and maybe something closer to home so you don't have to spend 2 hours in the car, right? Then you can find that, because that's what you are attracting to. So it's those little things that we do. We have community card coming out here for you, and I love this. All right. Sometimes we can do everything on our own. But other times we need to recognize that there may be some helpful people out there. Your community. Now, this is your spiritual community, your spiritual soul tribe, but this is also your friends, your family. This can certainly be your social groups and connections. This can certainly be a time when connecting with people can be very beneficial for you. All right. And again, here, Cancer, Mercury is in your sign. Jupiter is in your sign. All right. And this can be super positive for you, for meeting new people, for networking, finding help and resources through connecting with people, right? Finding your cheering squad, finding new people, maybe even, so this can also be where you're looking at your connections in your life as well and saying, okay, am I surrounded with people that can be my cheering squad, that I connect with, that I jive with, or am I holding on to people out of habit? Virgo energy, right? So you could be really looking at the connections in your life and saying, okay, I'm here for all the wrong reasons, or I'm here for all the right reasons, right? And this happens in our workplace as well. Okay, so again, if you're, maybe not so satisfied at work, but what's keeping you there? Is it the people that you work with? They're not paying your bills, though, right? And sometimes that's one of the hardest things to break away from, because it's the fear of the unknown. Well, I like these people that I work with now. I know what to expect. I might not necessarily get the money that I'm looking for. Maybe I'm taken advantage of, right? And, but I'm reluctant to go because, who knows who I might work with in the future, and maybe they won't be nice people, right? Or maybe they won't be helpful people. But sometimes we have to face those fears, right? So sometimes the people in our lives can propel us forward, but sometimes they can hold us back. So you could be kind of looking at that with this particular card. But this is in the upright, and could certainly be some helpful, supportive people around you, whether they're in spiritual beings or whether it is in human form. All right. We also have the Three of Cups. I love this, okay, because this can certainly represent a cheering squad. Okay, now this is super cool because we've got three people on the Three of Cups. Typically represents some good news, celebration, supportive people, your cheering squad, and your social aspects, right? And fun, right? And we've got three people on this card as well. Okay, now this can certainly represent that there's a core group of connections in your life that are the most beneficial to you. All right. And so perhaps this shows you that quality rather than quantity in connections, okay, is the best thing for you. So make sure you keep those core group of people, close to you. All right. But this can also represent that threes may be playing a real key role for you. So watch for signs, symbols, and synchronicities. You might be seeing threes or 33 or 333. Okay, 3 is related back to the Empress card ruled by Venus. Venus is in Taurus, and this can certainly be really positive for our income. It can be positive to recognize our values. It's positive for love and connections, but also new beginnings and to create the life that we want, right? So, so these threes can represent teamwork and collaboration, but it can also represent this creative vibe and, hey, maybe even some good news that's headed your way. So the Three of Cups can certainly represent some good news or some positive vibes. And again, maybe if you are honest with some people around you, and, let's say you are embarking on making some better daily habits, right? Losing weight or getting more physically fit or, finding a new job or whatever it happens to be, right? If you tell these people, your core group of people, they might sit there and cheer you on, they give you encouragement, maybe they give you a little bit of help, or maybe they join in the fun with you as well. All right. So, but you could certainly have some good news that is coming in, maybe not necessarily right on full moon day, okay, but in the next couple of weeks or so. So let's get your fortune. And hello, lily pad. I have my cat slowly trying to creep onto my desk here, so don't mind her. She's army crawling it. She's not allowed up here. Anyway, talk all you want, just don't sign your name. Words are like the wind, carrying intentions far and wide. Speak your mind and let your ideas soar, yet beware the weight of promises unfulfilled. Revel in the freedom of expression, but remember that actions tether you to your truths. Choose wisely, for a symphony of speech holds meaning only when harmonized with deeds. Put your money where your mouth is here, guys, right? And your lucky numbers, we've got lily pad. We've got 13, 31, 47, 61, 72, and 82. Very interesting that 13 and 31 came out, 1331. Interesting. Anyway, I'll leave that there for you guys. I thank you very much for watching. Lilypads here says hello. And I hope you have a wonderful full moon, and I'll talk to you later. Hello there, Leo, and welcome to your full moon in Sagittarius reading. Are you ready for some fun, Leo? So this is happening, of course, in a fellow fire sign, and this is in your house of fun and pleasure and romance. So just a word to the wise. Okay, a full moon in your sign could represent that some of you are either getting pregnant, okay, or you are perhaps giving birth to something. Now, it could be giving birth to a creative project, to an idea, putting the finishing touches on something, or figuring out what it is that you want to create. But of course, you could also be giving actual birth here as well. Jupiter in the sign of Cancer can represent a little bit of a baby boom. Okay. And of course, in your fifth house of love and romance, all right, there could be something maybe even a little bit unexpected for you. Okay. So there could be a little surprise there, whether it's you or someone you know. Someone may have a birth announcement or a pregnancy announcement at this time. However, the fifth house is ruled by the sun. It is your house in astrology, so you should be very comfortable for the most part in this moon. You might also be quite excited about something or doing something exciting. So you could have a breakthrough moment here. You could be making some really positive change. Or you could be doing something fun and having some adventures and all that kind of stuff. So your fifth house is your self-expression, sometimes some drama, love, romance, creativity, your hobbies, interests, your pleasure, your play, the things that bring you happiness and joy and put a big old smile on your face. So it can be really exciting for you guys. But with it being a full moon, you could be recognizing that you may need to put an end to something so that you can have more fun and pleasure and joy in your life, or more time to create something. Remember, full moons can certainly be the end of a cycle. Something may come to fruition for you. But it can also represent those things that we need to release, right? So the things that are, you like to have fun, you like your hobbies, you are out there, your creative soul. And, you don't like to have your energy squashed, right? Or you don't like to not have time to do these things that are fun. So you could be saying, okay, you know what? This has to end. I need something a little bit better. I need a different job so I can have more time. This is encroaching on my personal time and that kind of thing. So you could have some deep realizations coming in here for you guys. But ultimately, though, I feel like it's a pretty fun kind of full moon for you. Just be aware that because it is this fiery energy, that there could be a little bit of drama. Fifth house, okay, there could be a drama there. There could be, a propensity to be impulsive in something here as well, okay? Because in the pursuit of our passions, sometimes we just make little rash decisions, all right? We have rest and rejuvenation here. Card number 19, very interesting because that does relate back to the sun. And the sun is your card, right? Following your heart. So rest and rejuvenation. So this can represent a couple of things for you. Number one, engaging in any kind of meditation or anything at the time of this full moon will be very beneficial for you. Replenish your energy, realign your chakras, or maybe even clear out any kind of mental or creative blocks that you may have, right? Clearing your mind and allowing the ideas to flow. Rest and rejuvenation can also represent that you are being sent a big message that in the pursuit of your pleasures and your goals and your dreams and the things that are fun to you, don't overdo it, okay? Remember to take care of yourself. And sometimes we need to slow down a little bit, or sometimes we do need to say no to certain things. Okay. So take care of your energy, whatever your situation is, especially if you're excited about something here, Leo, right? Sometimes when you're excited about something, you go whole hog, you go all in, you jump in with both feet, right? And you might forget to take breaks. You might forget to have lunch, that kind of stuff, right? So just remember that an empty battery is a dead battery, okay? So we do want to make sure that we're recharging ourselves along the way. We have the Two of Cups coming in. Oh dear. We have the Two of Cups here for you. So wonderful for partnerships, friendships, love, romance. Okay. Some of you could potentially be paving the path to meet someone new. or someone you are coupling up with someone in some way. So, oh yes. So, if you are not looking to start a family, expand your family, get pregnant or anything in any way, you may want to, you know, be a little bit careful. Okay, because the Two of Cups is soulmate energy, it's love, it's connection, two people coming together. Okay, and so just be aware of that. So you could be meeting someone new, but you could also be having a little bit of a romantic fling. Okay, if you want to call it that, because the fifth house, this is where we infuse more love and romance into an existing relationship. So, a little night of amore. But this is also where we can, just have that little summer romance kind of thing. So, so this can be really wonderful. It can be really fun. It can be really enjoyable. But, just be aware, because that Two of Cups with Jupiter in Cancer, we've got Venus and some really positive aspects here too. It's just everything's lining up for a little bit of a baby boom. But with that Two of Cups, though, it can also be you aligning yourself with something or someone as well. And it can be really fun, really enjoyable. You finding balance and harmony in your life there, and so that you have more time and space to create the things that you want to create. But the Two of Cups is wonderful. Wonderful energy, things coming into alignment, into balance, into harmony. And of course, yes, we may have love and romance. You might also meet a new friend, okay, or you're spending some more time with your friends. Now, in keeping with the Two of Cups energy, I have two of these cards. It's funny with these cards, you'll appreciate it, Leo. Funny with these cards, I got these as a gift. Okay, and I don't know if you've ever watched the old 80s movie Big. Okay, Tom Hanks in it, right? And there's this, it's fortune telling little thing. Anyways, so a friend of mine saw these cards and got them kind of like a little bit of a gag gift, right? Anyways, and I didn't touch them for the longest time. But once I started using these things, hot damn, are these things ever on point? And so far throughout these readings, they've kind of hit the nail on the head. For each one. So anyway, so you have two, so it matches your Two of Cups. So let's see what your fortune holds for you. First one, you have been feeling a bit uninspired by the people who surround you. Now seems like a good time to reevaluate who you choose to spend your time with. It's hard to soar with the eagles when you're surrounded by turkeys. Remember that it's important to surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you, not bring you down. Your lucky numbers from this card: 2, 4, 25, 28, 33, and 49. And your next message, we have: recently you have made a mistake that you are dwelling on. I am here to tell you that no amount of guilt can change the past, and no amount of anxiety can change the future. Carrying around the weight of your mistakes does not serve you or the people around you. Stop punishing yourself. It's time to jump off the endless hamster wheel of guilt, forgive yourself, and move on. Your lucky numbers: 11, 18, 29, 39, 44, and 47. That's what I have for you folks. I thank you for watching, and good luck in this lunation. We'll move on now to Virgo. Hello there, Virgo, and welcome to your full moon in Sagittarius reading. So this can be a really beneficial full moon for you. I mean, it benefits us all in some way. But this is happening in your fourth house. Now, your fourth house is ruled by the moon. Okay. It is Cancerian energy. Your fourth house has to do with the foundation you've built, the house you live in, your sense of security, your private life, the things that you keep to yourself or behind closed doors. Also has to do with your ancestors, your ancestry, a nurturing parent, typically your mother, but not necessarily. Your femininity, your feminine side, your creative side, right? Your family, your children, and your youth, okay? The people you live with, or where you live, or the house you live in, or what's in your house even as well. And so the fourth house here can represent an end to an existing living situation. Now, it could just be a family dynamic. It could be that you're looking to move where you live, maybe expand your home in some way. You may be looking to redecorate. Maybe you've decided your furniture is out of date, or the cat scratched your furniture up and it's time for a new couch, and that kind of stuff. So out with the old and in with the new, if you will. This can be a very positive energy for you. And, let's look who we have in your fourth house right now, right? We've got in the sign of Cancer, okay, which is fourth house energy. We've got Mercury, really good for communication, for really highlights your neighborhoods. Okay, driving comes through with Mercury in Cancer. Okay, where you drive, how far you have to drive to get to work, or to get groceries, things like that. Your neighborhood, your neighbors. Okay, maybe some chat around your neighbors. You might get a new neighbor, okay, or maybe that that horrible neighbor that lives next door might be finally moving, right? Ending. That could be it as well. But Mercury in the sign of Cancer can be really, really interesting, or positive communication around your home. Could be some revelation of family secrets, perhaps. Okay, or you're talking about getting things out in the open, resolving issues. Okay, and if you can't resolve the issues, then there may be, of course, a change in your family dynamic. Right, but typically Mercury in the sign of Cancer can certainly be quite positive. All right. We also have Jupiter in the sign of Cancer. Okay, so Jupiter is a wonderful energy to expand our home, expand our horizons. Some of you might be putting an addition onto your home. Okay, perhaps with Jupiter and Mercury both in the sign of Cancer, you're looking at where you live, and this is good energy for negotiation. If you want to buy a new house, upgrade your digs in some way. It's also a positive energy for talking about, your family secrets, right? The things that are hidden, or, talking about starting a family, right? Because it's, Jupiter in Cancer can represent expanding the family unit in some way. There's also a healing energy that is coming in here as well, right? These planets are all direct. Okay. The only planet that we've got retrograde right now is Pluto. Okay, revisiting something, reviving something, reflecting on something, making cautious change. Okay, getting second chances at things. Okay, or really discovering what needs to change. And sometimes Pluto can bring surprises. So, so there can be some change in the family dynamic in some way. Well, we have door to value coming in here for you guys. All right, you're the first one to get this. Okay, the door to value is something opening up for you. You could get a surprise in some way. Someone may knock on your door and offer you a pile of money for your house. If you are selling a house, right, this can be really beneficial for you here in this. Either you list it for something and you're like, oh, I don't know, this might be a little bit high, but let's give it a whirl anyway. And then someone could, give you an offer for exactly what you listed it for or something. This can certainly be some money coming your way. Your fourth house, because it does have to do with a parent, or with ancestors in some way. You could potentially maybe be getting an inheritance of some kind, or someone may have left you something. All right, so it can be positive for you there. But the door to value is something opening up for you in a very positive way. You could get a gift. You could get a surprise. It is card number 31. Threes are, 3 is the Empress card, ruled by ruled by Venus, who is in the sign of Taurus. Thank you very much. And so there could be something going on with your money, with your income, with your possessions. There could be something, blossoming, abundance coming in there. There could also be something new. And that's there as well. You put the 3 and 1 together and we get 4. and fourth house energy is activating here with your full moon. So this can be something super positive for you in some way, something that brings you expansion, growth, or maybe even freedom. We have the Devil card coming out here for you guys as well. So a little bit of caution may be required. Now, the Devil card here is Capricorn energy. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, right? And we do have Saturn at play with this full moon. Okay, number one, we do have that grand mutable cross. Okay, and so this is where our nodes are squared. It's not Saturn energy, but it's like we want to cling on to something. Okay, but we need to maybe let something go in order to have that better future. So there could be something here that has control over you, that has a hold over you in some way. Okay, and that's that Devil card. So we need to remember our personal power, that we can break free from something. Okay, so something keeps pulling us back when we're trying to move forward. So we need to investigate to see what that is. Okay, but we do also, again, have this very challenging third and thankfully final square between Jupiter and Saturn. Jupiter wants to expand and grow, and Saturn wants to contract. All right. And so there's that Devil energy. Something has a hold over you, or something is pulling you back in some way, right? And this can certainly be that Saturn energy at play. Now, sometimes it's just because we need to revisit something we have unfinished business. We need to find closure, but it can also be fear that holds us back as well. All right. So if you find that there's something you've been wanting to do, something that you've been wanting to talk about, something you've been wanting to change, okay, there's like this little shadow hanging over you in some way, right? But we need to always remember, when we have the Devil card coming out, that boundaries and perspective are always necessary. Now, because the fourth house does have to do with a nurturing parent, okay, which often does translate into a female maternal figure, so like a mother, an aunt, that kind of thing. Doesn't have to be, okay, but it's typically the feminine energy, okay? But it could be that maybe you've got something that needs to be dealt with, boundaries, Saturn, right, with, say, a parent or children in your home, or like a mother-in-law, right? Something like that, right? So it could also be that someone, is maybe offering to give you something, but you're sitting there thinking, okay, what strings are attached to this, right? Because the Devil card often does have some strings attached. It can bring us wonderful things, okay, but there's something there with those strings attached. And it may just be, that there's a repayment that's necessary. So let's say a family member is dangling a carrot in front of you and says, I have this money available for you, or I'll co-sign a loan or whatever. But make sure you know what those terms are, right, for repayment, if there are any. All right, because they could try and, think of if, if you don't have the best relationship with someone, or someone does tend to be a little bit overbearing, okay, maybe they lend you money for a down payment on a house, and here they are trying to control the situation, right? So we have to put up boundaries. Saturn, okay, with that there, and it's not the easiest thing to do. So with the Devil card, boundaries and perspectives always necessary. It can bring us something good sometimes, but again, watch for those strings attached. All right. The Devil card can also be those bad habits that we're trying to break away from. All right. And, and again, with the South Node being in your sign, okay, this can be a big focus, right? The Devil card, we're sometimes afraid, or we tell ourselves negative things. And with the Door to Value, do you feel you are worthy of abundance and prosperity in your life? Do you feel that you are worthy of love? Do you feel you're worthy of happiness, right? Whatever it happens to be, because the Devil card says that you may not be. You may not feel that way, but the Door to Value says you are valued, you are worthy, you you deserve it, essentially. Okay, so we need to chase the shadows of the Devil card away. Think of, those old cartoons where we had the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other. All right, who are you going to listen to? Right? Let's listen to the angel that's moving us forward, Pisces energy, right? Pisces North Node, right? Rather than listening to the devil on the other shoulder that is holding us back. All right. Now it can also be here with the Devil card that again, it's a focus on material things. Okay. And so some of you, there could be a real focus right now on the material things, on money, right? And with the door to value there, this can be where something does potentially come to fruition for you, a door opening for you. Okay. But just remember, no matter what your situation is, okay, the devil is always in the details. Okay. And we just need to make sure that we are making the right choices for the right reasons, and that we understand everything that we're getting into. Okay. And I will tell you a little real life story. I was changing muggle jobs, my day job, a couple of years back. And, and of course I pulled some cards. I did everything that I needed to do, went to interviews and all that kind of stuff. And then I didn't pull any cards until I was finished with the whole process and just kind of waiting for some news. And I got, I've got the King of Pentacles, I got the 10 of Pentacles, right? Both really good for a new job, but I also got the Devil card. Right. And so the Devil card just meant there was something with the other cards I got that was really positive. Okay. But there's strings attached. There's something a little bit, and what is it? I've had a couple of ornery people. I have turnover in my department just because of the nature of some of the work that a couple of the positions do. It comes with the territory. And of course, I am really busy every minute of every day, pretty much, right? It's fine. I can handle it. So in exchange for the money and the position of leadership, right, came those strings that were attached, right? So I'm still there like 2-3 years later. Okay. So, obviously it's, there's something positive there, right? But it was just those little strings attached. It's like, it's really good, but okay. So just be aware of that sometimes when that Devil card is there. We have your fortune here for you. You have recently experienced a situation where you feel that you are unfairly treated or taken advantage of. Devil card. It has made you a little bitter about things and life in general. Listen closely, dear one. Do not let your pain turn you into something you are not. Instead, focus on the light that you have to offer the world and it to you. You attract what you radiate. Something good is just around the corner if you look for it. What did we just say? Listen to the angel on the other shoulder. Your lucky numbers, I should say. 1, 10, 16, 29, 33, and 36. That's what I have for you guys. Good luck in this lunation. I thank you for watching. We will move on now to Libra. Hello there, Libra, and welcome to your full moon in Sagittarius reading. So you could have some really positive communication going on here. This lunation is occurring in your 3rd house, ruled by Mercury, and it's Gemini energy. Okay, so the moon is in Sagittarius, and it's opposing the sun, which is in Gemini. So in this energy, you could potentially have, how should we say? You could be at odds with somebody about something, but because this lunation has a conjunction with Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, this may be where we can really work together and hash something out, even though we don't see eye to eye, or we have different opposing views. We can have a respectful conversation, even though we're on opposite ends of the spectrum. And because we're willing to communicate and work together, we can resolve something, or we can get something back on track. So there could be something that you need to work through with somebody, or something internal, all right? But you're either going to not let it get to you, you're going to speak in a calm, decisive way, you're maybe going to negotiate a little bit and hopefully resolve some issues, or make a decision, or maybe even very simply agree to disagree. Okay, so this can be very interesting for you. You could also meet somebody who is like the polar opposite of you. And because your third house is all about your communication, your thoughts, technology comes into play here as well, your community and neighborhood, and your social life and your perception about things or people as well. You could potentially have like a new neighbor that moves into your neighborhood. Maybe you're completely different than this person or these people, and they come from like a different planet almost. And, you know, but you're like, but I kind of like them, right? There's something weird and quirky about them. You know, but you could also have a heightened perception though about somebody in your neighborhood perhaps, or in your community. And you're like, something not quite right here. I think that, you know what, I'm just going to trust my instincts, trust my intuition. I'm going to be polite, but I'm not going to get too involved with them. There's just something there that I just don't know what it is yet. So you're not going to trust necessarily someone who you may meet right away until you figure out what's going on. Maybe it's just that they're superficial and that they're into material things. And it could be that there's all style and no substance, right? So they're kind of like the polar opposite of you in some way. But because Mercury is in a really positive aspect, this is something that really doesn't bother you too much, or you just deal with it in a way that's, you know, on the up and up kind of thing, right? You're not going to get into it with anybody or anything like that. So this can be, you know, where you walk away from something. All right. But with the third house energy and your full moon, this can be a great time for some breakthroughs. You could be planning an adventure, possibly a short trip. Sagittarian energy does tend to be a longer trip, but there could be something here where, you know, there could be a disagreement with you and a spouse, or you and a friend or something. You might want to go on a big long trip and they might want to stay close to home, third house energy. Or maybe you want to stay a little bit closer to home and they want to go, you know, spread their wings and fly, kind of thing. So you kind of have to deal with each other and talk to each other and hash something out, maybe find a compromise, right? Because your third house does have to do with shorter trips. And think of, you know, instead of getting on a plane and flying for 6 hours, it's hopping in the car and driving for 4, right? So still an adventure, still a vacation, still a getaway, probably a little bit cheaper and maybe a little bit shorter in duration. So there could be some money things going on that may affect the decisions in regards to those things. But keep an open mind here as well, because, of course, Mercury is the ruler of the third house. It is in Cancer. Jupiter is also in Cancer. So there could be some discussions around your home, about where you live, you know, about your neighbors. Something may come up with family, but it may be that, you know, you're saving up for a better home in a better neighborhood. So even though you have a vacation coming up, you just don't want to spend too much money, right? That kind of thing. But Jupiter in the fourth house is really, really positive. And of course, we are meeting the minds there with Mercury in the same area. So expansion of communication, getting thoughts out there, and, you know, maybe even resolving some differences. So can be some interesting energy. We have appreciation here. Maybe someone shows you their appreciation, or you appreciate the people that you live with a little bit more. Card number 15 actually does relate back to the Devil card. So, you know, so it can be that you're resolving some differences here. Because why? Because we're willing to listen to each other. We're willing to communicate, and we're willing to compromise or resolve our issues, our differences here. Someone may give you a gift, a show of appreciation. And maybe that's part of what an argument might be about, right? Some issues might be about is that, you know, I do all these things around here and no one ever says thank you, you know, and a little bit of a thank you can go a very long way. So you could have someone potentially showing you some sort of appreciation in some way. But this is reminding you about nurturing yourself and caring about yourself as well. Remember, we do have Venus in the sign of Taurus. So both Jupiter and Venus do bring us good things, and they are very happy in the signs that they are now both in. So nurture yourself, take care of yourself, make time and space for yourself, show yourself a little bit of appreciation. And if you are around people or in situations where people don't appreciate you, full moon is about endings. And so perhaps you're looking to make a change. Surround yourself with better people, right? Put yourself in a better situation, right? Move to a better neighborhood, whatever that happens to be for you. But this can be a nice heartfelt gesture that comes in for you. Oh, well, and hello, we've got the devil card here as well. So card 15 and 15. So ones and fives. So new beginnings, changes, improvements, finding peace, peaceful resolution. 1 and 5 put together is a 6. So we do resolve issues and we do find peace and harmony, or we make some change and start something new. So anyways, but we do have the devil card here. So this can certainly show that there is some sort of challenge that you have been dealing with, that you are dealing with, or that you need to resolve. Okay, the devil card can represent your fears, your doubts. It can represent a negative situation or something that is holding you back or restricting you in some way. Okay, you might be dealing with a Capricorn person. Okay, Capricorn person, right, is the devil card there. And so, you know, perhaps this is a person that you live with, a person you're friends with. And, you know, this might be where you need to resolve some issues. Okay. Or maybe this person does show you some appreciation because they haven't so far. The devil card is, of course, Capricorn energy, but also ruled by Saturn. And Saturn does tend to restrict or delay things. And so the devil card is where we can be frustrated or feel like something has control over us instead of us being in control of a situation, or we can feel like we're being held back. All right. So if you have been held back in something, then we need to face that. We need to dive into our shadow side a little bit. The devil card does represent our shadow side, our fears, our worries, our doubts, our limitations, even the ones that we've placed upon ourselves. So what has control over you? What has hold over you? Okay, boundaries and perspective always necessary when the devil card comes out to play. Okay, and sometimes that we need to put our own boundaries up for ourselves as well, or we need to look at things from a different perspective. But the devil card does show that may have given your power away inadvertently, even in a situation somewhere. So we're encouraged to recognize that and take our power back, because the devil card does say that, yes, sometimes something gets a hold over us. Sometimes something, is holding us back or tying us down. But remember, we always have the ability here. We always have the power to unleash ourselves, to get our power back, to walk away, to make some change. All right. And quite often the devil card is very much our fears, okay, or our bad habits even. All right. So it's a good time to break free Sagittarian energy out of bad habits. All right. And that North Node energy that we've got at play, or sorry, the North and South Node energy, both that we have at play here. And the South Node is in Virgo. Virgo wants to hold on to things, right? Even the things that we should let go of. So the devil card is showing you that there's something here that maybe you do need to let go of. And sometimes it's just a fear of change, or sometimes it's a fear of having a conversation, or even just we're worried about talking about something because we don't know how someone else is going to react. Devil card can also represent a focus on material things. Okay. And, so there could be something to do with money or possessions that is causing some issues, either within yourself or within a home, or with your neighbors even. And so this can be a little bit of a challenge for you. So you need to figure out, do you need to put up boundaries? Do you need to work through something, talk something out, or do you need to make some change? All right, let's get your fortune and some lucky numbers for you. I really do feel like the devil card is something that you're breaking away from, something that you're leaving behind, or that you need to leave behind. And that might be a way that you show yourself some appreciation by letting go of old negativity or old toxic people, or even just the past things that have been weighing you down, and find a little bit of freedom that way. We have your fortune. You have recently experienced a situation where you feel that you are unfairly treated or taken advantage of. It has made you a little bitter about things and in life in general. Listen closely, dear one. Do not let your pain turn you into something you are not. Instead, focus on the light that you have to offer the world and it to you. You attract what you radiate. Something good is just around the corner if you look for it. And your lucky numbers: 1, 10, 16, 29, 33, and 36. That's what I have for you guys. I'll leave that there for you. I thank you for watching. Good luck in this lunation, and we'll move on now to Scorpio. Hello there, Scorpio, and welcome to your full moon in Sagittarius reading. This is happening in your money and income sector. So your second house is highlighted and activated, and your second house is ruled by Venus and the sign of Taurus. Now, interestingly enough, Venus is in the sign of Taurus right now and is very exalted, very happy there. So there could be something that's coming to fruition with your income streams, with maybe some gifts coming your way. You might get some interest, maybe an investment pays off for you. Okay, and it can be really wonderful for you, but you could also have new opportunities potentially that are opening up for you to create more abundance in your life. Now, the second house does have to do with your material and physical experiences or things. It's how you make your money, how you spend your money. Also the things that you own. Okay, so you could be potentially, you could be cleaning house. All right, some of you could be decluttering and deciding that you've got too much accumulation of things in your house, and so this is where you donate some things to charity or sell some things on online or something like that, something to generate a little bit of cash, but also declutter your home at the same time. Especially if you're looking at moving or anything like that. Venus and Taurus can potentially be really positive for you if you're like selling a house or something, or selling any kind of possessions, right? You could get a little bit more money than what you had thought. All right. But your second house does have to do with your values as well, the things that you value, but also your sense of value or worth around money or making it. Okay, and also about your habits, especially with your money. Do you have good money habits, good spending habits, or do you need to do a little bit of work on that? Okay, so there could certainly be some wonderful things here, but there could also be a little bit of work that you need to do in order to get your money and finances back on track. We have action here for you. Now, I love this particular card. Okay, it's very reminiscent of the Chariot card, right? Cancerian energy. But the action card here shows that your actions can certainly pay off for you, and something is coming into alignment for you. Okay, because ultimately, when we have an idea, we have a daydream, then the actions that we take are what brings us into alignment with our goals and dreams. So with this here, it's number one, showing you that whatever previous actions that you've taken can certainly be paying off for you right now. Over the next couple weeks or so, you might have a door opening for you. You could have some money or an opportunity coming in for you, or you are just getting things back on track for yourself. But this can also show that you may need to take some action or initiative, okay, to get things to where you want them to be. And because your lunation is in your second house, this can be a really lucky time for you. And your actions have greater impact, okay, than what maybe they normally would. Now, the action card is also one of movement. So have you been sitting back and watching the world pass you by? Or have you been doing something about your situation? Okay, it's time to take some action, take the lead, and, allow these planetary alignments here to really help you out. You could find yourself at the right place at the right time. You could get a lucky break. All right. We also have the Empress. Love it. Now, this is beautiful. Talk about things lining up for you. The Empress card is Venus energy. And where did we say Venus is right now? In Taurus. What does Taurus rule? Your second house. And where is your lunation? Your second house. So this is a time of heightened creativity for you, heightened abundance for you. The Empress card certainly can bring in abundance and prosperity, can bring something to fruition for you, but it's also about new beginnings. Okay, so anything that you start right now, any actions that you take to create the life of abundance that you are looking for can certainly pay off for you at this moment. The Empress does remind you to take care of yourself, though. Self-love, self-care, okay? Do the things that bring you pleasure and joy. Okay? It can also represent love and romance, the love of things that are, sensual and abundant, right? I mean, Venus in the sign of Taurus is like where we indulge. Right? We indulge in those pleasures of life. Sometimes they're simple pleasures, sometimes they're more complex or expensive. But whatever it looks like to you, okay, a little bit of indulgence can go a very long way. All right? Even if it's, maybe you've been on a very strict diet for the last few months and, you're like, oh man, I've got a little bit of a craving. Well, maybe have a little piece of chocolate, but make it like, a decadent dark chocolate or something. So you can't eat the whole square at one sitting. It's too intense, right? But it activates those pleasure centers without pumping you full of sugar, right? So it can be those little tiny pleasures in life, those little tiny indulgences. But again, it can also be big ones. All right. But the Empress showing up here for you is absolutely beautiful for your creativity, for blossoming abundance, for something coming to fruition for you, or even something getting off the ground. So work with Venus. All right. Work out with the energy of Venus, light a candle, work with some crystals, set some intentions, or even just let those things go that you feel have been holding you back, right? Have you stayed positive in your quest for success, or have you let something drag you down, right? Have you felt restricted and trapped? Okay. Because this can be a breakthrough lunation for you. Okay. So really work with Venus, work with Jupiter, our two most beneficial planets, and they are working for you. We have your fortune here for you guys. No matter what age you are, you must always remember that there is more to learn and understand in this world. The person who thinks they know everything is the real dummy. Wisdom blossoms in the humble heart, while arrogance blinds even the keenest mind. Recognize that the journey of knowledge is boundless, and true understanding stems from a willingness to learn. Embrace the humility of a seeker, and in the pursuit of wisdom, you shall unveil the beauty of ever-expanding universe of knowledge. Your lucky numbers: 8, 25, 40, 56, 74, and 69. I'm going to leave that there for you guys. I thank you for watching. Good luck in this lunation. Remember to work with your planetary benefactors there, and they can really help you out. But I thank you guys, and we're going to move on now to Sagittarius. Hello there, Sagittarius, and welcome to your full moon. I hope you're ready for a little bit of luck, Saggy, because you deserve it. This is a great lunation for you guys. I mean, sure, we do have some challenging aspects, but I mean, we always do at some point anyway. But embrace the positive vibes here. Embrace your benefactor, Jupiter, your ruler. Embrace the energy of Venus. We've got great energy with Mercury coming in here. So I really do hope the universe bestows 1,000,002 blessings upon you, okay? And certainly some good luck headed your way. Now, this full moon, of course, does occur in your first house. Now, it's your first house of self. This is who you are. This is your personality, the face you put out onto the world. This can be about your identity. Who am I? Right? So you might be figuring out who you truly authentically are. And if anything's been restricting you or holding you back from being your true self, right? This can be a breakthrough for you. This can be an opportunity for you to break away from those things that are holding you back and restricting you. You do not like to be restricted in any way. You are a freedom seeker, and, you know, having responsibilities and things like that, that's all fine. It's par for the course, right? But you don't like being trapped. And so if you have been feeling trapped in any way, boom, you're going to come out with a breakthrough, just like a fierce bull charging out of the gates. All right. You might, with a full moon in your house, you might decide that you want to change up your appearance in some way. It's like, out with the old. Okay, I'm done. I have this haircut I've had for 10 years. It's time to switch it up a little bit. Now, often we do have the new moon for things like this, right? Maybe some of you at the new moon that we had in your sign 6 months ago, you did decide to try a new hairstyle or a new hair color. And this can be where you're like, okay, I'm done with that. I'm going to go back to how I used to look, or I'm going to switch up my color a little bit. So again, we normally do have, you know, a change in your appearance and things like that at more of a new moon. But this can be where you're like, okay, experiment is over, and let's try something new and different, or let's go back to the old ways. But you're not really so much about going back to the old ways, are you? And of course, you know, that is part of what we're trying to break away from, right? Is the old. So, you know, it may be that you compromise with yourself, right? You keep your new and funky hairstyle, but you go back to your original color, right? That kind of thing. Okay. You could be switching up your wardrobe, but really you're focused on you, right? Me, myself, and I, when we've got a lunation in your sign. What makes you happy? What's holding you back? Where do you want to expand and grow? And what do you need to leave behind, right? But again, something can be coming to fruition for some of you here as well. So again, look back to your new moon that we had 6 months ago, because you could see the results of all the changes you've been making, all the work you've been putting in. And this can be where something really does pay off for you. I do feel that for some of you, there could be something in your career path as well, and maybe you get recognized for a job well done or something, right? Because you're a natural leader, and whether you want to be or not, people do tend to gravitate towards you, because you're wise, right? You're wise. You kind of get things done, and it's just like a moth to a flame, whether you want it or not. So, but you could be getting some sort of recognition for that. We have the door to spirit opening up for you guys here, and I love this. Number one, the door to spirit brings us forgiveness, peace, and healing, brings us some balance and harmony in our life. But the door to spirit energy here shows the lines of communication are very much open. Your door to connecting with spirit, with the universe right now, is incredibly powerful. And of course, full moons are where we are more psychically aware. Our intuition is heightened. And of course, our ability to communicate beyond the veil is also very heightened now. So this is a great full moon for you to, to communicate with angels, with your spirits, your guides. This is a great full moon for you to just give thanks to the universe. Maybe have a conversation with your spirits and guides. You know, quite often, the thing is, our relationship with spirit is just that, a relationship. And we do quite often fall into the human pattern and our habit of, connecting with spirit when we need something, right? When we need help, or when we want to manifest something, or whatever it happens to be. But we can also connect with spirit and solidify more of a bond when we don't need anything. Right. And think of it as like, going to your neighbor to always borrow a cup of sugar, borrow a cup of sugar, borrow a cup of sugar, right? And your neighbor's like, the first time it's like, okay, yeah, no problem. And the second time, okay, sure. And then the third time they start to think, when are you going to go and buy your own sugar? And it becomes transactional a little bit, but fostering our relationship with spirit is so beneficial even in the good times, right? And it's just deepening that bond, deepening that connection. So this can be a really, really, really great time for you to do that. Okay. To really connect and forge more of a bond and a relationship there, and not just when you want something, right? So share good news, right? Hey, spirit guide, or, whoever you happen to talk to. This wonderful thing happened to me today. Thank you so much for being there with me every single day of my life. It's a wonderful thing, right? You don't need any necessarily signs or anything back to know that they're there. Anyway, but certainly a time of heightened intuition, heightened awareness here for you. Work with crystals, do some meditations, something you want to release, write something down, and get rid of it at this full moon, so that you, maybe free up a little bit of space and time for something new to come in the future. We have the 10 of Wands. And this is certainly something, the journey is over. So with the 10 of Wands here, 10s are always a culmination of the suit. 10s are endings. They lead way to new beginnings. And the 10 of Wands is one of always persevering, of always finishing what you've started, no matter how difficult the task. No matter how much energy and effort you put in, you never give up. And giving up is not an option for Saggy, right? So, there could be something here where you have worked so hard. You have a lot of responsibilities, a lot of burdens. And this is showing you that a couple of different things are happening here with the 10 of Wands. Either you are recognizing, okay, where you need to start saying no and putting up those boundaries, okay? Because often with the 10 of Wands, we sometimes take on other people's responsibilities, whether it's out of guilt, whether it's a sense of duty, whether we, just feel that there's no one else to pick up the slack. So we automatically do that, right? Because you're gifted at doing that. But you're recognizing here that you can't keep doing that, right? And so this could be where you start to realize where you need to start saying no. The 10 of Wands can also represent that something you've been working so hard to achieve, especially over the last 6 months, but maybe even longer, is about to pay off for you. All right. And the 10 of Wands can be that this is an end of a difficult cycle. You're getting ready for a fresh start, a new beginning, or at least a little bit of an easier time ahead. Okay. But it can also represent getting rewarded for all of your hard work and effort in some way. The 10 of Wands sometimes does show up in our career path, where we've taken on extra work, or we've proven our leadership skills, or we've proven that I can do it. Put me in, coach. I'll show you I can do it. I'm ready for more responsibility. And sometimes in that 10 of Wands energy, we're ready to take on more responsibility because we can do it, right? So it's not always necessarily a negative thing, but this is a call to action for some of you here, showing you, number one, it's the end of a challenging cycle for some of you, but also with this energy here, we need to recognize that you can't always carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. Okay. It's draining, it's tiring. And so we need to put up some boundaries somewhere along the way, right? And it's not always comfortable to do that. Okay. But no is a complete sentence. Just remember that. And if anyone tries to guilt you, well, that's their own problem, right? So that could be a life lesson, perhaps, that you are embracing right about now. Now let's get your fortune and see what else that the cards have to say for you. Your recent solitude has led you to feel lonely. Cheer up, my friend. Things are not as bad as they seem. It's time to change your perspective and take action. Even a caterpillar spends time in isolation and loneliness before it gets its wings. Stop weeping your loneliness and start spending your time alone doing things that fulfill you. Read a book, get outside, or watch an inspiring movie. You will soon realize that solitude is bliss and doing activities in your free time that fulfill you will lead you to a more fulfilled life. Your lucky numbers: 9, 11, 29, 32, 44, and 48. With that, I'll leave that there for you, Saggy. I thank you so very much for watching. Enjoy your full moon, and I'll see you guys later. Hello there, Capricorn, and welcome to your full moon in Sagittarius reading. So I'm not going to lie here, Capricorn, this may be a very intense full moon for you, okay? This is a full moon occurring in your 12th house. 12th house is ruled by Neptune and Pisces. Now, we do have a square with Jupiter and Neptune, okay? So it may be that we feel that there's something holding us back. We might be confused about something, and something may need a little bit of clarity. We may need to dig deep. All right. The 12th house does have to do with your dreams. So what are you dreaming about? Where do you see yourself going in your future? It is Pisces energy. The North Node is in Pisces. Again, we do have square with the North Node with this particular lunation. So it could be, again, that you feel that something is holding you back, or you've got unfinished business and you need closure. 12th house is the last house, so it's an ending. So you could have something that you are really wanting to put behind you, or something that you have to put behind you in order to move forward. Okay. Sometimes, all good things must come to an end. Okay. It could be a relationship. It could be an aspect of you. It could be some wounds from the past. Fortunately, we've got Chiron bringing us and some healing. We've got, Pisces energy that is showing us the way forward. We've got Jupiter energy showing us the way forward. But it can be fairly intense for you here in the 12th house, because we dive into our subconscious, right? We do that deep dive, okay, into our psyche sometimes here with this. The 12th house can also bring secrets. So there could be a revelation that may come in with you for you here. Now, it could be that something you have been keeping secret, maybe you need to reveal. It can be that someone has been keeping something from you and they reveal something. Okay, it can be about pretty much anything. It can be about your money, your home, your ancestors. Maybe you find out a family secret, right? But whatever it is, something may come to light for you here with this. You could also, and I don't love to say it, but the 12th house can also have to do with hidden enemies. Okay, and it may be that you discover that someone who previously you thought was on your side maybe is not. Okay, that always hurts just a little bit, but it will set you free. Okay, no matter what your situation is, the truth will set you free. But the 12th house, we do like to spend some time alone. And so this is an awesome energy for connecting with spirit, for doing any kind of meditation, divination practices, anything of the sort. But you just might find that you just don't feel like you want to deal with people, right? You're peopled out. And you just want some alone time. And that can just be very much the 12th house energy. You just want to be alone with your thoughts, with your dreams, or maybe just to do nothing. And that can probably be a way that this lunation can really benefit you, is to really highlight the fact that maybe you haven't been spending enough time on your own. Maybe you're always out there doing things for other people, or because you are ruled by Saturn, right? You're forever in pursuit of your goals and your dreams, right? And is very serious kind of energy, right? But we do have to have fun sometimes. We do need to let things go every once in a while. So maybe that's something that you are realizing here at this full moon. How do I have more fun? Where can I expand my horizons a little bit? Where can I do something a little bit more interesting? Yes, we all have goals. We all have things that we have to accomplish, right? We all have to take things seriously at some point, right? But we also need to reward ourselves and have fun in our lives here as well. Okay. But your 12th house, pay attention to your dreams. You could be seeing all manner of signs, symbols, and synchronicities here. But you could, again, be wanting to cleanse and purge something. And of course, it's not made any easier by the fact that we do have a square with Saturn, your ruler, your chart ruler, and especially with Jupiter there. So however, this is the third one and the final one. Okay, remember August 2024 with a square with Jupiter and Saturn. December 2024 with a square with Jupiter and Saturn. And this is the last one. But again, the difference is that the planets have now changed signs. And so this can be a different take or a different perspective on an old problem. And so this can actually bring you some insight and inspiration, perhaps, and maybe help you figure out a different way to move past a challenging situation. We can also be closing out karmic cycles with a full moon in our 12th house as well. And of course, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, which can also highlight our karma. So this can actually be really beneficial for you, and you're breaking free out of something, and you're a lot more light-footed as your future unfolds. We have indecision in the reverse. So if you've been feeling like you've been stuck between a rock and a hard place, you've been feeling like you've been at a crossroads, you don't know where to go, you've been feeling as though something has been holding you back, okay, you're about to get a breakthrough, okay? The indecision card in the reverse shows instead of being unsure, now we're sure. Instead of not knowing what we want, now we know what we want. Instead of feeling like we're at this proverbial crossroads and there's no way, we don't know which direction to go in, we're getting our sense of direction. So this can be a really positive turning point for you. This full moon might be intense for you. Okay, it might be challenging, it might be emotional, okay, but it can also be very insightful and very revealing for you as well. And insightful and revealing indeed. We've got the sun coming out here, shining a light and bringing clarity to your situation. So this is beautiful energy because the sun chases the shadows away. The sun makes us more positive, more optimistic in where we want to go. The sun helps give us a sense of direction. The sun brings us this more positive vibe to things, right? But it does bring clarity. Okay, so if you've been confused or you haven't been sure about something, this is that epiphany, it's that aha moment. This is like, oh my goodness, now I know. You can be feeling more inspired with this energy as well. But the sun does bring about abundance and success. Interestingly enough, the sun also really does highlight fun and joy and happiness and following your heart and doing something that you love. And, so again, not everything will have a repeating message. Why am I going for that one? We have a repeating message, right? Yes, we do have a lot of things we have to take seriously in life. But we also need to remember that a life lived in full is the best life possible. Right? Yes, achieve your goals and dreams, but put aside a little bit of time for some fun. Embrace your inner child. Do something silly. All right. And it can just really shift your energy in a big, big way. All right. This also does highlight the fact that the sun is in Gemini, which is in opposition to this particular full moon. Okay. But the Gemini's ruler, Mercury, is also in a conjunction with Jupiter, and they're both in Cancer. So this can be really positive to resolve issues, to get something back on track, to help see someone else's point of view, but also help them see ours, right? And we can work together, even though we have differences of opinion or differing viewpoints, right? We can work together, we can compromise, okay? We can have some really positive conversations and maybe even resolve something. So this can be really positive for us here and reminding us that we need to infuse the sun energy. But the sun, ultimately, the happiest, most positive, most optimistic card in the entire deck, and it is shining a light on you. We have your fortune here for you. Trouble, trouble, boil and bubble, over life's thorny path you'll stumble. Then you'll awake one fine day, and all your troubles will have vanished away. Interesting, since this tree looks like all thorny, hey? You were nature's naughty child, always managing to get in trouble. Fortunately, you had an understanding parent who helped you smooth away your difficulties. One of these days, you'll awake to a peaceful world and great happiness will be yours. You have a sensitive disposition and are easily hurt. Try to develop a tough skin. You can fit easily into any group. You are a very impulsive individual. Life for you should hold no dull moments. And your lucky numbers: 12, 7, 11, 28, 32, and 16. I'll leave that there for you, Capricorn. I thank you for watching. Good luck in this lunation. I thank you, and I will see you later. Hello there, Aquarius, and welcome to your full moon in Sagittarius reading. My name is Victoria. And why am I telling you that? You already know. Anyways, hello, nice to meet you. So let's see what we've got here for you, Aquarius. So this is happening in your 11th house. And so in this energy, this is number one, your home sign. Okay, so, so this can certainly be all about you, a focus on your goals, your dreams, perhaps, but this is also who you connect with, what your social interactions are, also your wishes. So your 11th house is ruled by Uranus, so you could have some sort of surprise, okay, some awakening perhaps here with this. Something could shake up a little bit here for you with this moon, or you're willing to shake something up, okay, in order to shake things loose. Whatever doesn't fit, right? And at least we know what it is when it falls away. The 11th house is about your society, charities, groups, your memberships. It's a very humanitarian energy. It is also very futuristic, ruled by Uranus. Where do you see yourself going for the future, right? And Sagittarian energy is also very, very much about looking forward and finding some freedom. You are a freedom-seeking sign. So freedom and liberation, okay, 11th house also brings liberty to you as well. It can certainly be the order of the day. Where do you feel like you've been held back? What do you feel is holding you back? Is it a person? Is it a situation? Is it past circumstances? Okay, it's a big breakthrough moment for some of you. The 11th house does have to do with your wishes. Okay, so you could potentially have a wish coming true for you at this full moon, because of course we've got some really wonderful manifestation energy here with Sagittarius and with Jupiter. And of course full moons can represent something coming to fruition for you because we're at the end of a cycle. Jupiter also just left Gemini, so hopefully Jupiter left you something really positive behind when it moved signs. So hopefully some good news or some new perspectives or whatever it happens to be. So this can be really exciting for you, but I do feel some of you are really looking at your connections and the groups you belong to, your social network and things like that. And you could really be assessing, why am I connected with all these things? They're just taking my time, they're draining my energy. And so perhaps you could have a breakup of sorts with some social media. You could be unfollowing a bunch of pages and things that you were following. Maybe you're getting really annoyed, as I am. It seems anytime you open up Facebook in the last couple of months or so, you're just bombarded with all of these channels that you have no interest in, that you've never looked up, and they're just populating your feed. And I don't know about you, but I probably block at least 10 of them a day, to the point where I barely even open Facebook anymore. It's just that annoying. And so you could just be like, I got to stop this thing. I need a social media break. So you could be doing that a little bit, and you find, oh my goodness, I have all this free time now. I didn't realize how much mindless scrolling I was doing on my phone. And so this can be a big breakthrough moment for some of you here. You could also be looking at your social connections, whether they're online or in person, and saying, who am I aligned with? What do I get benefit from? Do I benefit them? Do they benefit me? And do we need to make a change? So you could be wanting to connect with new and more impactful people or communities, or let some go that you've just lost that magic feeling with. But I do hope that some of your wishes do come true. We have Healer of the Ages coming out here. Now, you are the third sign to get this. I believe it was Aries got this one, Taurus got this one, and now you guys as well. Now, of course, it is no secret. A lot of Aquarians are light workers, right? You're wisdom seekers, or you're filled with a lot of wisdom, but you're also healers. And whether you want to be in that role or not, it's something where maybe you find people gravitate towards you. Maybe you find that people tell you things, right? Because you're an active listener, or, you know, maybe you feel like a bartender half the time, even though you're not one as a profession. And it's because you are a healer of some kind, right? And even if you have no insight or input to give someone on their problems, they may just feel better about their situation because they've talked to you, and it's just this light that you emanate. And so this can be where you are being shown perhaps a calling for your future. You are a healer of some kind. Maybe it's, maybe your gift is in listening to people and opening up their psyche. So part of your gift, your talent may involve something to do with mental health. Perhaps you're really good with your hands, right? We've got the hands highlighted here with this. So, perhaps you have strong hands and you give a really good massage. And if you're looking for something a little bit more meaningful to do as a career path or anything like that, then perhaps you are being drawn to some sort of calling, and you might have a career change coming up in your future because it's more fulfilling, but you're helping people, but you're also making some money, right? And so because the 11th house does have to do with humanitarianism, it is also about healing or helping other people there. So some of you could have a calling that you're awakening to here, which is the path to healing. But the Healer of the Ages is also the healing energy that flows to you, okay, and through you, for you. And we do have some beautiful healing energy coming in here, right, with Chiron and Aries, and we've got a trine with the moon in this energy with Mars and Leo. So it can be healing of the heart, healing of the soul, healing you of fear, right? Of whatever it happens to be. So allow this healing energy to flow around you in many, many ways, because it feels like there is some, if you have been hurt in the past, and Aquarius, you are slow to trust. Yeah, you're slow to trust, but once someone's earned your trust, you hold them tight. You hold them, well, you don't really hold them tight, right? Because you do like your space, but you hold them near and dear, right? And if someone breaks that trust, oh man, that's devastating. And because we do have the hands and the heart both very highlighted here for you, if you have maybe closed your heart off in some way, maybe you come across as really open and giving and loving in some circumstances, very helpful to other people always, right? But there's something, you've always left a little chamber of your heart just a little bit closed off. This might be opening you up to new friends, to new romance, to new ways of loving yourself even. So it can really be a liberating kind of energy here for you, because there could be a little bit of magic down the road for you, whether you meet a soulmate in a friend or a romantic partner, right? We can't necessarily receive that when our heart still feels broken, or when we feel like we've kept part of it closed off. And so this can be that healing that comes into you. Even if you're not interested in love and romance, or you're not interested in making new friends, the healing energy is still there, right? Love yourself. So it's a beautiful, beautiful vibe. We also, you're not going to believe this one. Full moon, Sagittarius, Jupiter, good luck, good fortune, expansion, growth, abundance, you name it, all these wonderful things. Manifestation, your 11th house. Yes, it's people-y. Yes, it can be social, but it's also about your wishes. And we have your wish fulfillment card. You're the only sign to get this, unless Pisces gets this after you, but your wish fulfillment card. This is number one, feeling content. Feeling like things are just starting to work out for you. Things are aligning for you. We're feeling good, right? We're feeling good. We're feeling happy. We're feeling secure. But the Nine of Cups is also about your wishes and your dreams coming true. Now, it may be in a simple way. Maybe a door opens for you, and it's up to you whether you want to walk through that door or not. It may be that there's healing energy here for your heart, and you're accepting the healing energy for your heart. And the next thing you know, the love of your life, your soulmate, your person that you're meant to connect with and be with, they're just wonderful, right? Walks in. It may be that a new career opens up for you. Whatever it happens to be, whatever you wish for, whatever you manifested, you have the ability to attract your wishes and your goals towards you. And this Nine of Cups is absolutely spectacularly beautiful for you. I love the alignment. The wish fulfillment card coming in while you have a magical, lucky, granted a little bit challenging as well, full moon in your 11th house. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. There could also be people around you, by the way, that can help make your dreams come true. Let's get your fortune card here. Haven't you ever heard of saying no? Oh, Aquarius. Well, you're not always so good at that, are you? Try it sometime. It feels good. You are a kind, selfless person who would do anything for your loved ones, but it's time to start treating yourself the same way. Once you start practicing the art of saying no to things that don't serve you, you will find your life to become more purposeful and less stressful. And yes, Aquarius, people gravitate towards you. Sometimes you help people even though you just don't have time, or it takes something from you, or maybe people keep on coming back to the well. Saying no is not a bad thing. Okay? Anyway, your lucky numbers: 6, 8, 11, 14, 42, and 48. And with that serendipitous moment there, Aquarius, I'm going to leave that there for you. What are you wishing for? What are you hoping for? What are you dreaming about? Can all be possible for you now. Good luck in this lunation, guys. I thank you for watching. I'll see you next time when we're moving on to Pisces. Hello there, Pisces, and welcome to your full moon in Sagittarius reading. So this can be really sparkly for you, especially in your career. All right. This lunation is happening in your 10th house, and this does have to do with your career, your public image, your fame or infamy, maybe, your honors, awards, recognition, your achievements, also your goals, especially having to do with your career, your influence on people and situations around you even. So you could have something coming to fruition for you here. Your hard work and your dedication may be recognized. Your reputation could precede you in a really positive way. So if you're looking at a career change, get your resume out there. Okay. Remember, we've got Jupiter in Cancer, we've got Mercury in Cancer, and they are conjuncting each other. Okay. At this lunation. So great time for to get yourself out there and expand your horizons. Okay. So it's a good time to find a higher paying job or a more fulfilling job or your dream job, perhaps even as well. But some of you could certainly have something here that is coming to the forefront for you as a reward for everything that you've already done. You could also have some success in whatever you've put your time, energy, and attention into. I will say, though, that the 10th house, of course, is ruled by Saturn. It brings Capricorn energy. And with Saturn energy, we've got this third and final Jupiter square Saturn. August 2024 was the first one. December 2024 was the second one. This is the last one. But it does carry a slightly different flavor because the planets have changed signs. Jupiter was in Gemini, right? Jupiter is now in Cancer. Saturn was in Pisces, and now Saturn is in Aries. So it is a little bit more of a breakthrough kind of energy, or You know, it can certainly be that we have to do something new or take a new approach. It can just be that there's a new spin on an old issue, okay, or we need to treat an old issue in a different way, in a new way. All right. And we need to look at moving forward past something. Okay. It may be that you thought you'd left something behind and something drags you back. All right. But a square energy is not a friendly energy. It is a challenging energy. Okay. And we've got a lot of other really positive aspects going on with Jupiter. Okay. So, you know, so this can be a breakthrough moment and you do leave something in the dust once and for all. And it's because you're looking at the bigger picture, or people are more willing to maybe look at things from a different perspective there. All right. But the fact that those two planets are now in different signs does indicate change, right? And maybe even a new beginning. So could be a shakeup and a breakup. All right. Because why? Because we're never going to see eye to eye, right? And so it may be that you come into an impasse with something or someone there. And yes, a breakout or a breaking free of that may be in the cards for you. We have appreciation. Love this. Now, number one, someone could potentially show their appreciation for you. Very wonderful in your 10th house, right? This could come in the form of money, maybe just some public recognition in some way, even though you might not be comfortable with that. But it's like, let yourself blossom and let yourself shine. Okay. If someone does want to recognize you in some way, just say thank you. Just take the compliments. Okay. This can also be a reminder here for yourself that even if no one else pats you on the back, pat yourself on the back. All right. Show yourself a little bit of appreciation and gratitude. Do something nice for yourself. That's Venus and Taurus energy, right? Do something nice for yourself, treat yourself to something, and show yourself a little bit of appreciation, even if no one else does. We've got the moon card coming out for you guys. And if I'm not mistaken, you are the only sign to get the moon card in these readings. And of course, this is your card anyway. So this is about your goals, your dreams, being true to yourself. This is also really highlighting your intuition with this as well. If you feel like it's time to make a move, make a move. If you feel this is the end of a cycle, right? It's a full moon on that particular card. If you feel this is the end of a cycle, full moon in Sagittarius, then maybe you're ready to start something new or head in a different direction. There could be something here as well with the moon card that might be a little bit emotional for you at this lunation, but it can also be that you need to shine a light on something here as well, because the moon can cast shadow and can cast confusion, right? The moon can be a little bit of an illusionary energy. Not everything is what it seems, right? When we look at things outside in the full moonlight, right, casting a shadow on things, things look spooky, they look scary, they look a little different. And then in the light of the day, when the sun shines on them, it's like, oh, it's just a bush, right? Instead of that scary thing that I thought it was last night. So when we get the moon energy, there may be something here where you need to shine a light on something and gain clarity on something. So pay attention to the details, okay? But the moon can also really highlight your fears. And the moon encourages you to feel your fear, recognize your fear, and then go for something. Do something anyway. Do something that does scare you, right? We can get a lot of rewards when we do that because we're getting out of our comfort zone. This can also be a surprise headed your way with the moon card. The moon can sometimes show that there's something hidden, and there could be some sort of surprise headed your way, thank you, in the next couple of weeks. Flipping over out of the deck, we do have your fortune card. No matter what age you are, you must always remember that there's more to learn and understand in this world. The person who thinks they know everything is the real dummy. Wisdom blossoms in the humble heart, while arrogance blinds even the keenest mind. Recognize that the journey of knowledge is boundless, and true understanding stems from the willingness to learn. Embrace the humility of the seeker, and in the pursuit of wisdom, you shall unveil the beauty of an ever-expanding universe of knowledge. And your lucky numbers: 8, 25, 40, 56, 74, and 69. On that note there, Pisces, I'm going to leave that there for you. Good luck in this lunation. I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.